not going to get fed. You've lost the skill set.
I'll tell you what else you've lost. The minute you lose the farmers. So at the moment, and I don't in any way suggest that this is on the cards, right? However, what's the biggest single independent army in the UK other than the British Army, right? It's farmers.
Yeah.
They're the most armed people, right? They've got the biggest amount of equipment,
Yeah.
miles more. You know, if you take an average farm, even a small farm like this, we've got more equipment.
How do you take the firearms, the rest of the firearms that are with the people, away from the people, shut down the farms?
Shut down the farms, and then you've got no reason for it, because the minute you've got no land, you don't need a shotgun. Right?
Well, as a constitutionalist, America gets its Second Amendment from England.
Yep.
Right? Because we have got the right to keep and bear arms.
Yeah.
Right? There's someone else that I'm talking to at the moment that's just been arrested for something. He's told his barrister to go away, he's told his solicitor to go away because they've said you're bank of rights with this, and I said, listen, you've got the right to keep and bear arms and I will prove it to a jury.
Yep.
You've got to ask for a jury trial and you've got to present your case.
Yep.
Right? And this guy is doing that. Right? So again, the right to keep and bear arms is crucial, and any before any genocide committed by communists, Nazis, socialists,
Take away the weaponry.
they take away your weapons,
Yeah.
right? And people need to understand, again, we're going to go back to this original, when I said we're both at the age where we remember being free. I remember as an 18-year-old driving around in my car, right, with a shotgun, right, and pulling onto a farm, just getting it out, saying, all right, Joe, and then start banging away, right, getting back in the motor, putting the shotgun in the back of the motor, taking no gun cabinets and all that bullshit, right? We had firearms, right? So people, and then they create this stuff.
Let me stop you and ask you a question, Grant. Right, just work with me here. When you had a firearm, did you go around shooting anybody?
No.
Interesting, me neither. Right, now they've tried to say over the years, oh, well, we've got to get rid of firearms because people are going around. The incidents were so insignificant, and most of them were allowed to happen and staged as a result.
Well, there was a free. It's in its third edition. Over 30 decades, there's a book written called More Guns, Less Crime.
Yeah.
It was written in America. The author was a Democrat, in other words, a Labour Party.
Yeah.
He wanted to get rid of firearms. And on initiating this study, and now in its third edition over 30 years, he has come to the absolute conclusion that the safest possible society is an armed society.
Absolutely.
And the most politest, and again, people don't realise, the other armed society is Switzerland. 52% of their population are armed, and it's got the lowest crime rate in the world. Right? Oh. So when people understand that firearms are a good thing, not a negative thing, it's like anything else, it's not the gun, it's the person who's using it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where the rule of law comes in. And the rule of law, and our constitution says, as an Englishman, right, and as a Protestant, although it was extended to the Catholics, right, so Christians have the right to keep and bear arms for self-defence, right? No one can take that away from you. That is your right. The problem is that the government is saying, by policy, self-defence is not a good reason to have a firearm. Our constitution says the complete opposite.
But a policy is no more than the British government being a limited company coming out with a company policy, is it?
Correct. It's not the law.
You know, but that's what people don't understand about the constitutional side.
And people again, this is crucial to farming. And I agree with you that is a way of getting firearms out. They know that farmers have got sometimes 5, 10, I mean, I know someone in this country at the moment, he did have 10 shotguns, 2 rifles, handgun, right? And although they was all licensed, they'd forgot about him. He was getting a bit older, right? So they hadn't kept up on it. He didn't have him in gun cabinets and all that, right? What I'm trying to say to people is that was natural for us. Yeah. And just to make sure everyone's aware of this, Napoleon tried to invade Essex, right? And the Essex Rifles, which were a militia, run back to their villages, run back to their cottages, and they all picked up their guns. They went down to the beach, and as they started rowing towards the beach, they started taking aim on them. They rowed back to their ship, and they
went home.
Right? So who saved England and Essex from a Napoleonic invasion? The Essex Rifles, who were militia. And they was all like us.
And now they've got boats arriving daily.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And people don't realise that the militias in this country are valid. They have destroyed them, the same as the British have destroyed every English regiment. People don't realise there are no regiments. So one regiment, for example, is called the Dragons. Right? So I'm called Daddy Dragon. But the reason they call me Daddy Dragon, and often people ask me, is because they initially started calling me Father Dragon, and the dragon was the original flag of the English, and it still is, right? So people started calling me Father Dragon because I spoke about England, our constitution, and our people, and protecting our people, and then it got cut short to Daddy Dragon, and that's where and then cut short even more than that to DD. So when people understand that all of this goes back to the destruction of England. And again, when I speak to people, so this, in my opinion, this farm should have 2 flags on display, possibly 3. The first is the flag of England. The second is the flag of Norfolk as a county.
Suffolk.
What? Is this Suffolk? Oh, right, sorry, Suffolk, right? Suffolk as a county of Suffolk. Yep. Again, another of the great counties. And then it should have a local one. If there's a local one that has that, because you're proud of your community.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And that's why you fly them flags. That's why they're there. In the old days, you used to say, you're never going to take our colours, right? It meant something to people. These are our colours. That's why the army have got colours on their shoulders, right? It was part of the regiment. It was part of your thinking. It's part of my community.
Well, that's why the standard was so important. When they used to go into battle,
Yeah.
whoever was carrying the standard would never hit the floor, would it?
No.
It was always important to keep that up. No matter who took control of it, you just pick it up and put your rifle down if necessary, because that was there.